What's going on, GPC? It's your boy Jar here with week 1 versus the Verd, and why the fuck are we on Verd's side? You know we don't live that kind of life. I'll change it as soon as I start the battle, but we gotta be on the winning side, right? So, week 1, if you saw the draft recap and you see the team we brought, basically I brought most of my big threats. I'm bringing the Greninja, Mega Sceptile, and Stoutland as offense, and then I'm bringing a defensive Hippowdon for Drill, bringing a Spadef Zapdos for something for Heliolisk, and then I'm bringing a Lomomola. However, Verd's team kind of shits on ours for a few reasons. Now, he doesn't necessarily have switches to my offenses that it's the problem. He just has a few things that can take my offensive hits, whereas I don't have anything that can take his offensive hits. So I figured he'd bring the Mew because it's the only thing that stopped Infernape, so I'm assuming it's a physically defensive Mew. I predicted T-Tar and Excadrill, but he decided to go with the Weezing instead of T-Tar, which I get because a Spadef Weezing could potentially take some hits from Greninja and Sceptile. That's what I'm assuming it is. He brought Drill for spin, obviously. He pretty much has to bring Drill with the combination of Zard and Kyurem. He brought his Kyurem, which I'm not too worried about. Alomomola can take any hit from that thing. But the biggest problem with Verd's team is that goddamn Zardwai. You go back on my draft, nothing can take a hit from Zardwai. I'm pretty sure everything is 2-hit KO'd by Zardwai. What I have is Mirror Coat Alomomola, but the thing is he doesn't need anything outside of Fire Blast and Solar Beam to 6-0 my team. So that's really the biggest issue, is that he can pretty much 2-hit KO my entire team with just those 2 moves, so he could run potentially other moves to deal with the rest of my team on that Zardwai. And so, yeah, that thing, overall, just terrible for me that thing is here. But obviously he was going to bring it because Verd's, not a fucking idiot. At least I don't think. I love you, Verdy. Anyway, he's also bringing the Heliolisk, like I said. I was looking over my prep and I'm just like, Heliolisk could be a problem, so I brought a Spadef Zapdos. I was thinking it would be a Scarf Heliolisk because Greninja and Sceptile cannot speed No-Co with Earthquake, since I'm a physically offensive Sceptile. We'll get to that though. And Greninja can do a good amount with Rock Slide, because I'm a mixed Greninja. We'll also get to that. I guess I'll just, since there's no team builder, I'll just run down my sets. I'm Life Orb Greninja with a Rock Slide, Water Shuriken in case he brought Sand Drill, or even Scarf Drill, Scald, and I'm also packing the Dark Pulse. Because look at his team, he has no Dark Resist, so I can spam that pretty freely. I'm SD Mega Sceptile, which can literally 6-0 him. If I can wear Mew and Weezing down, I can 6-0 him with one SD up. Stoutland's Life Orb, he basically loses him on if I have 2 turns in Sand with Stoutland. With Crunch Superpower, Facade in return, because I was talking to Merc, who was like, he could potentially bring Toxic Spikes on Weezing, so maybe throw Facade on the Stoutland, and I was like, yeah, that makes more sense than any other move, so I went with that. Glad I did that. And yeah, my goal is to kind of just build the sweep for Sceptile and Stoutland. The biggest problem is that I was kind of expecting his own Sand, but since he didn't bring it, that's less Sand for my Stoutland to use, and his Zard can stop my Sand. He doesn't put up Sand anytime by bringing T-Tar in, so that's a huge problem. But yeah, so my my idea going into this match was pivot around the Zardwai, get in something that can take a hit and do a lot of damage. The problem is I only have one Fire Blast switching on this team in a Lomomola who gets bopped by a Solar Beam. I am packing Mirror Coat, but we'll see. On Verd's side, we do not see T-Tar, Grand Bull, Trevenant, Poliwrath. He brought everything else. So yeah, looking at the matchup was like, this man has no Greninja switch, he's got no Dark Resist. I also expected a potential Excadrill or Mew or Weezing lead to get rocks or any kind of hazards up. So I was like, psh, this man, he's got nothing. I'm gonna lead with my Greninja. But he leads with Kyurem. Looking at his team, I kind of deduced either this or Heliolisk was Scarfed, but no matter the item, my play is always 100% into Bay, Kanye 2.0 Alomomola. He's gonna throw off a Toxic, so I'm still thinking it's choiced in some way. Choice Toxic is something I use a lot, so it wouldn't surprise me at all. He's gonna go into Weeznuts. I'm just gonna toss up a Wish. I'm assuming here he's gonna want to get some Toxic Spikes up, so I'm immediately gonna pull switch into my Zapdos. as that's indeed what he tries to do. So Alomamola's wish does nothing, but Alomamola is at full because of Regenerator. If I could fucking talk! Anyway, brings in Cooler, Volt Switch out. I feel like I have good momentum at this point. Again, play always into Bay over here. He can't touch me. Here he's going to switch again into the Wheeze Nuts, but I'm just gonna fire off another wish, no reason not to. I mean, that's all Alomamola's here to do is get things in safely for free, as I'm just going to go back into my Zapdos. I feel like I'm maintaining good momentum at this point. He hasn't really done much, and here I'm going to defog, expecting, just try to get rid of these Toxic Spikes. He's going to Sludge Bomb, no poison thankfully, as I get a little bit of leftovers recovery. This time I'm going to Volt Switch out, do a good amount to Wheezing, and here I probably should have just gone back into Alomamola, but I go into Greninja, and I on the Toxic Spikes, but you know, I don't know, this didn't lose me momentum, it got Greninja in for free, which was nice, but here I'm just going to fire off a Dark Pulse, and this Kyurem takes a shitload from a Life Orb Greninja's Dark Pulse, so not even scared. Here, I have no other reason not to go into frickin' Race Car. You Focus Blast, that does a lot, but I calc that damage, and from that, I do figure out he is Scarf, probably. As here, I'm going to throw up a Wish. Now, I could have stayed in and caught this Wish with Aloe, but I know he's going to set up rocks here. This is probably his rocker, so I'm just going to go right into my Zapdos and get these hazards away. He's trying to hazard stack me, and I just can't let that happen. So Zap is back at full. I'm going to defog these hazards away, as he's just going to knock off, which kind of sucks. Leftovers were kind of big on Zapdos this game. I do have Roost, but, you know, it just kind of sucks. Here I'm just going to Volt Switch as he brings in his Drill. No worries, really. I have a switch into Drill 10 out of 10 times. He could make a double, which he does not. He just stays in with the Drill as I go into my Hippowdon, and he throws off another Toxic, so he's trying to like Toxic all of my walls, but with Aloe's Regenerator and Wish Passing, it's not that big of a deal. Here I need rocks this game, and I figured that out, so I'm going to get those up. As Wheeze Nuts comes in, and here I make a mediocre play, I guess. I go straight into Alomamola. Here I think I should have, well actually, I was saying I should have gone to Zapdos, but you know, Alomamola makes sense. I can get more Regenerator off, as here I'm going to just make a legitimate double back into my Greninja as he fires off a Toxic Spike, get my Greninja in for free again, and basically I get a kill at this point. I 2-hit KO everything and I outspeed everything outside of Scarf Kyurem, but he stays in, and he is a Morspeth variant from that damage, and he's going to fire off a Sludge Bomb, and that kind of sucks for me, because Greninja's now only got a few Life Orb hits left in him, but I still am going to get a pick up a kill with Greninja here, as I'm just going to have no reason not click Dark Pulse again. But Cooler comes in, I knock that thing out, and now I'm at 18%, so basically I have one Life Orb hit if I switch out, which he goes into Heliolisk. I cannot take Heliolisk out with any one hit at this point, so I'm going to go into my Zapdos. I'm at 80%, I think I can take this thing on, and he fires off a Hyper Voice, and he gets a crit. I think it was a roll to 2-hit KO, I think is what I ended up calculating it, because it did 41 and I was at 80, so I could have potentially lived another one, but, you know, shit happens. Here I'm going to go into Greninja, and I'm going to fire for Rock Slide. It's the only thing that'll kill this thing. I don't make any prediction as Doug comes in, which was a good play on his part, and I'm going to go down to the combination of Life Orb and Poison damage. So Greninja and Zapdos are both down on my side, as he's probably going to spin. I'm going to go into my counter for this thing, Hippowdon, as I still do have my 2 big win cons, as I predict him to just stay in and rapid spin, and I fire off an Earthquake. The problem is that rocks were so key in this game. I mean, you look at his team, and like I said, if I have rocks up, Sceptile can basically 6-0 him, because I just need that little bit of damage onto Mew, and I know I can take any one hit outside of an ice hit. So rocks were extremely key in this match, and he made a good play spinning them away. So Hippowdon's in, it's going to take some leftovers and damage, etc. And here he goes into Wheeze Nuts. I'm just going to stay in... Oh wait, did I stay in here? No, I go into my Alomamola as he makes a nice double into Charizard. And here's where, like, this thing is just like a problem. I don't have a switch into this thing. So I'm going to fire from Mirror Coat here as he gets rid of my Sand, and he substitutes up, and it's just like, okay, I guess I can't do anything. I have no switch into this thing, and I predict Solar Beam here, and I can take one because I have a Rindo Berry, but I decide that the best course of action would be to stall out some turns of Sun before I break his sub with Mirror Coat, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. As Alomamola is able to stall him out a little bit, and I'm going to be able to take one more flamethrower and break his sub with a mirror coat. And yeah, basically this thing just... I just didn't have any... I have no play when this thing comes in is essentially the problem. Here I'm going to go into my Sceptile. I kind of don't expect him to expect Rock Slide, but I'm just going to go for it. And here's where that crucial little bit of damage on Mew would have been in handy, because I think... I missed the Rock Slide, but I think with Rock Slide damage, as you're going to see, I'm going to SD up here. And he's going to fire off a Psychic. I think with Rock Slide damage, this +2 Leaf Blade might have had a chance to take him out, but because he's at full, it doesn't. He's very physically defensive, as I predicted, to take Infernape on. And at this point, this game's basically over. He can just... The thing is, Stoutland could win if he didn't have Zardwai. If he didn't have Zardwai, Stoutland had a chance to sweep this game in the end. I'm just going to fire off a Stone Edge, predicting the switch into Weezing. But like I said, so what I have to do at this point is play for differential. I'm going to go into my Stoutland here, because every time Stoutland comes in, he gets a kill. The problem is that he can stop my Sand at any point with his Zardwai. So I get to come in, I get to get a kill. I click return here because, I mean, Sod isn't even really necessary. Return kills everything at this point. As I take Life Orb and I take Toxic Spikes damage. Here, like I said, I'm playing for differential at this point, so my best play is to just get one more kill with Stoutland and get the Sand back up. As he's going to fire off a Flamethrower, which nukes Hippowdon from that range, and going to go into my Stoutland. I'm going to click Facade here, as his best play is just to sack one of his other two Mons and bring Zard back in and get the final kill of the game, which is exactly what he's going to do. So, we're going to lose week 1, and I don't even think it was my play. I don't think my play was bad. I don't think my prep was that bad either. When you look at it, I think that it was just Zardwai and a little bit of hacks and Bird just playing really well as well. I think he did have the team matchup a little bit, in my opinion, but you know, that's bound to happen. I gotta figure out how to deal with that Zardwai, because if we play Verdy again, I'm gonna need a plan. But like I said, yeah, looking back on it, if I could change one thing, I probably wouldn't throw Life Orb on Greninja and Stoutland, just because of that little bit of extra chip damage. Really, the damage was nice, but it just wasn't key. It wasn't necessary for me to be hitting as hard as I was, and it was just wearing my Pokemon down. I think a Bandit Stoutland probably would have been better, but you know, you live and you learn. Bird played well. I didn't think I played bad, so hopefully we can pick up a win in week 2, and yeah, that's basically gonna wrap it up. I think I don't see any more reason to stay around, so I will see you all in the next whatever I find out I'm gonna do. Bye!